dass ich anständig meine Zeit verwendet habe im Dienste meines Volkes. Gib du jetzt eine Stimme ab. Wenn ja, dann tritt.
Have you ever heard of Godwin's Law? Well, it suggests that if any online argument goes long enough, someone will certainly call the other person Hitler. To which Trump says, thank you.
What happens after Donald Trump wins? What's next for America? The economy booms. American energy is unleashed and an end to crushing taxes. The border is closed and the largest deportation in history is underway. No more wars as we focus on home. Law and order is restored. The American dream is back and the best is yet to come. Make America great again.
A new Reich? Really? But are you surprised? I mean, they're saying it out loud. And though Trump took this post down, he left it up long enough for everyone to see what he wants them to see. He is planning a real coup this time. No more civilians running up the Capitol steps. He wants tanks in the street and the military in American cities. And while he waits to hear about his immunity case in the Supreme Court, he's not sweating it because he doesn't need them. He just needs to win in the fall. Trump has been building up to a win in November by promising to deliver a dramatic blow to any and all groups that oppose him, borrowing language from the man who murdered more than 6 million Jews, plus Catholics, gays, and gypsies and homeless. His code words align perfectly with Hitler's approach in the early 30s.
We got a lot of work to do. You know, when they let, I think the real number is 15, 16 million people into our country, when they do that, we got a lot of work to do. They're poisoning the blood of our country.
In Hitler's manifesto, Mein Kampf, there are several passages in which Hitler used the words poison and blood in conjunction in attacking people that he deemed a threat to the purity of the Aryan race. He was mostly talking about Jews at the time, claiming that, quote, great civilizations of the past died out as a result of contamination of the blood, and linking the, quote, poison which has invaded the national body to an influx of foreign blood.
Trump has held a long fascination with Hitler, and it has quickly crept into his speeches and political philosophy. While president, Trump defended the Nazis in Charlottesville, even after a woman was murdered.
Jews will not replace us!
Very fine people on both sides.
Trump, like Hitler, considers non-Anglos to be inferior races who want to take over the world. And Hitler, like Trump, also wanted to rid Germany of the disabled, homosexuals, and other minorities that did not fit into his idea of an Aryan race.
They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists.
And Trump has the support of leading white supremacists.
How precisely is diversity our strength? White supremacy, that's the problem. This is a hoax.
Send the military into these black neighborhoods, make the streets safe, they'll complain about it. It doesn't matter.
We should send in the troops if necessary to restore order.
Enough with the Jim Crow stuff. Who cares? Oh, to drink out of a different water fountain. Big deal.
Trump felt betrayed by his first run as president, unable to secure the kind of loyalty he is sure to demand this time. No more Millies, Espers, Kellys, and Tillersons. Instead, he will create an army of loyalists, starting with pardoning the insurrectionists.
We will give them pardons.
Then demanding loyalty from crowds.
Raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear will vote for Donald J. Trump.
We don't take an oath to a tribe. We don't take an oath to a religion. We don't take an oath to a king or a queen or to a tyrant or a dictator. And we don't take an oath to a wannabe dictator.
Then replacing generals with those loyal to him.
I want to be a dictator.
Trump is no longer trying to hide who he is. He's ready to get in power and never leave. His fascination with Hitler promises a sea-level change in American culture.
Retired General John Kelly, who of course served as White House Chief of Staff in the Trump administration, recounted several conversations where Trump spoke favorably about Hitler. From the book, quote, he said, well, but Hitler did some good things, Kelly said of one conversation with Trump. I said, well, what? And he said, well, Hitler rebuilt the economy. But what did he do with that rebuilt economy? He turned it against his own people and against the world. And I said, sir, you can never say anything good about the guy. Nothing, end quote. Trump also admired Nazi officers' loyalty to Hitler, according to Kelly. He would ask about the loyalty issues and about how, when I pointed out to him the German generals as a group were not loyal to him and in fact tried to assassinate him a few times, and he did not know that, Kelly said.
30 years ago, Ivana Trump said that Tiny Fingers kept a book of Hitler quotes right next to his bed for nighttime reading. For the record, when she died, he buried her on a golf course.
Well, let's rewind all the way back to 1990 when Vanity Fair reported that Trump's former wife, the late Ivana Trump, had told her lawyer that Donald Trump occasionally read from a book of Hitler's collected speeches, My New Order, which he supposedly kept in a cabinet by his bed. And a friend of Trump told the magazine on the record that he had given Trump the book, saying he thought Trump would find it interesting.
Over the years, Trump realized the power of the swastika and tried to use it to smear his political enemies.
Trump retweeted this image at 11:20 last night of a Nazi flag, along with photos of rival Jeb Bush's distinguished family lineage, starting with his grandfather, father, and brother.
Again, Trump's use of Nazi references and quotes from Mein Kampf require a longer conversation. I mean, look at him. He's obese, he doesn't exercise, dyes his fake hair orange, spray tans himself, he wears diapers and farts and snores uncontrollably. He swears in his speeches, declares his innocence, while at the same time demanding immunity. But the real worrisome aspect isn't Trump. It's Republicans who refuse to stand up to his racist blather, who might be the first to end up in a camp in Trump's new world, like this guy.
I do want to get your reaction to something that former President Trump said overnight. He was in New Hampshire. He was talking about the need to keep immigrants out of this country. Here's what he said. I'll get your response.
They're poisoning the blood of our country. That's what they've done. They poison mental institutions and prisons all over the world, not just in South America, not just the 3 or 4 countries that we think about, but all over the world. They're coming into our country from Africa, from Asia, all over the world.
The Biden campaign has accused former President Trump of, quote, parroting Adolf Hitler. What is your reaction? Are the president's comments representative of how you? Are you comfortable with him using words like that?
You know, we're talking about language.
But Miss Lindsay isn't alone. CBS reported today that more than 80 officials in swing states whose job it is to collect votes also deny the 2020 election results. Hitler is guarding the chicken coop. Even today, world events parallel the rise of Trump. Hitler rose to prominence at the end of World War I, attacking the influx of minorities and especially Jews. Trump is using the pandemic to enlist a pack of conspiratorial numbnuts like Aaron Rodgers to normalize talk of violent revolution. Trump came close on January the 6th, and like the Third Reich, which was not an official part of the German government, he tried to use his beer-bellied brigade to stop the election. This time, however, if he somehow gains access to the office, he will use the first 30 days to strip power from everyone who does not pledge loyalty, and then insert his version of Eichmann and Goebbels.
America first.
Donald Trump is not Adolf Hitler, not yet, but we are learning that he could be. While the heavily partisan Supreme Court considers offering Trump immunity for his crimes before and on January the 6th, he's not paying attention to that. He wants and needs to be president, because once in power, he will replace the generals with those who will agree with him. And as you saw, Republican senators will not remove him. But if he commands the military, impeachment is moot. The Justice Department will be run by someone like Matt Gaetz.
Sex charges against me.
Homeland Security by Tim Scott. And I have no idea what he'll give Dairy Queen. Well, you get the point, though. The only thing that will stop Trump from being Hitler is a Joe Biden victory, although Marco Rubio and others say they won't recognize the win.
Will you accept the election results of 2024 no matter what happens, Senator?
No, if it's an unfair election, I think it's going to be contested by either side.
Senator, no matter who wins.
I think you're asking the wrong person.
So can a dictator in diapers take over the world? I know, it's not funny. In fact, only one person is smiling.
I am the chosen one.
This isn't their Republican Party anymore.
Damn right. Am I wrong?
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
I'm Chip Franklin.